Alright folks, so today we're going to be talking about Cyborg, the brand new figure that comes in the 7-pack and so far looks to be exclusive to the new Target exclusive 7-pack. So he is an exclusive in a Target exclusive Justice League 7-pack.
And he is also Ernie Hudson. I want to throw that out there.
Alright, yeah, definitely. Let's have a closer look at the Galactic Guardian himself, Cyborg. Alright guys, now it is time for the most galactic of the Galactic Guardians. It is Cyborg himself. Now any of you all that have an affinity for the last incarnation of Super Friends, Galactic Guardians, will instantly be able to recognize this character. I've always loved Cyborg since I was a kid, thanks to that cartoon, and thanks to Jim Lee and Geoff Johns, now Cyborg is a major part of the New 52. I was really glad to see Cyborg added to the lineup in the comics, and I'm extra glad to see him get a figure here. Cyborg is definitely the figure that I thought they would leave out, and I never would have assumed that Mattel would have been creative enough, honestly, to have decided to have executed him the way that they did.
I want to touch on Cyborg and the New 52 again for just a moment. There's some people who aren't very happy with it. There's people that would much rather have Martian Manhunter instead of Cyborg, but I think a lot of people see Cyborg in a strictly Teen Titans context. But as Jared mentioned, our introduction to the character Cyborg was in the Galactic Guardians cartoon series. So we've always seen him in the context of the Justice League. We've always seen him as part of a team with the big players, with Superman and Batman and everybody. So it's really thrilling for us. And I don't know. I don't think that cartoon had any impact on their decision making. But it's glad to see him be a main player for the universe, and it's very good for toys, because we're getting some Cyborgs at mass retail for the first time in quite a while.
As we can see, Cyborg appears to use a brand new body, but oh, don't be fooled, my friends. Let's go ahead and get that out of the way and talk about where this Cyborg actually comes from. Now, as we can see, there was this incredible Batman variant that Mattel did for Brave and the Bold that actually did appear in the cartoon in the Amazo finale for Season 2. And we can see that Batman is wearing sort of a techno suit. Now, you smart kids at home can probably tell by now that Batman and Cyborg are actually using the exact same body minus the peg holes. But they are the same thing. As you can see, all the detail is the same in the sculpting. Even on the back, it's very simple to see that the sculpt is exactly the same, even so far as the utility belt is concerned, only without the peg holes of this version. Also, there is one minute change. Mattel has sanded off the bat spikes that were previously on the gloves, so instead we've got a clean cut. And as a matter of fact, you can see a little bit of kind of a plain area of the sculpt where they have actually tooled that out. Now, speaking of the sculpt, as we can see, Batman's head is really rather small here. That's just the effect of the armor. Having the giant neck covers up a lot of Batman's chin. As an after effect, I suppose, of this sort of element of the construction, Cyborg too has sort of a small head, but unlike Batman, maybe really shouldn't in this case. The head sculpt itself is actually super nice, and really way too nice to go with most of your Brave and the Bold figures. It's extremely detailed and really sort of hyper-realistic in a way, especially compared to the other figures in the line. However, it does suffer from a little bit of a pinhead syndrome, as it's sort of mounted on the top of this very wide neck. But really it is a great head sculpt, and I can't knock it too much for that, as I'm sure Cyborg would have quite a huge body compared to his head anyway. So it makes sense, especially in this animated context.
The paint application is extremely clean. He actually has the most paint apps out of any of the figures in the box set. All of the black and red areas are just paint. There are some techno bits worked into the sculpt, but all the lines you see are paint apps. Like the rest of the figures in the box set, he has the basic Brave and the Bold articulation. He has a cut at the neck, cuts at the shoulders, hinges at the elbows, a cut at the waist, and cuts at the hips.
If there's one thing that I could change about Cyborg, it would be the fact that on back of the package, like all the other figures, he was originally shown with a metallic color scheme. Now, it's fine by me that the other figures didn't have it. As a matter of fact, I sort of prefer it that way. But with Cyborg, it really would have helped. Even though he looks great and everything, it would have been even nicer if the flat gray had been sort of the shiny metallic color that was promised on the back of the box. But hey, I can't knock it, and it looks great. Well, let's have a look at Cyborg with maybe some of the other Cyborgs of the Brave and the Bold line Here he is with Metallo just for a hoot.
Seeing Cyborg in comparison to other Brave and the Bold figures and other Brave and the Bold characters brings up an interesting point. Unlike the other 6 figures in the set, Cyborg never appeared in the Brave and the Bold cartoon. But even considering that, he still fits really well with the toy line. It's not difficult at all to imagine this design making it into the cartoon series.
As we can see, here he is with Batman, and it's really not much of a problem. Looks nice.
And just for kicks, here he is with his best friend from Galactic Guardians. They were the new young kids on the crew in the cartoon series, Firestorm and Cyborg.
Alright guys, that was our closer look at Cyborg, the ultimate Galactic Guardian. I love Cyborg because he is a very creative reuse of one of the large deluxe sized Batman molds.
Yeah, I had to look at it for a few minutes before I realized that that's what it was. I like Luthor. In fact, when we saw Cyborg and Luthor, we thought that they were the same body, just painted differently. But it took me a couple minutes, and I thought, hey, that's the Gorilla Grodd Batman. And I never would have known if I wasn't very familiar with that particular Batman variant. It would have never occurred to me that he was a repaint of anything.
One of the great things about Cyborg is what a detailed head sculpt he possesses that we talked about earlier. And of course, that's such a strong part of the figure. And I think overall, he works extremely well. Now, some of the only minuses, I believe, was sort of the pinhead sort of effect. His head is maybe a tad too small, which is an effect, I think, of the peg size that they had to work with and the constraints of the hole around the neck. The original Batman figure this is based on had a very small head, of course. And the other part is that the metallic paint job was not used that was shown in the back of the box. And for Cyborg, it would have worked really, really well. Other than that, I would say that Cyborg is a solid 4 out of 5 for me.
I think so.
He's a very cool toy for children, and of course there has not been a regular Cyborg action figure since DC Universe Classics figure.
I think that Cyborg is the unique piece who sets apart from the others that makes this set really, worthwhile and worth the money.
So regardless of how you feel about Cyborg in the new 52, he's a great figure and very much worth it to get this set rather than the single figures. So thanks a lot, guys. Take care. Till next time.
Fanboys Forever, signing out.
We should go and have lunch sometime.
We can work together and do robot stuff. Let's do it.
Let's do robot stuff. Let's use the twin hammers of justice to take out evil. What do you say, Cyborg? All right, yes! Woo, baby! Yes! I hope this makes you feel more comfortable about your disability. I think there's a movie I should go watch.
RoboCop? Are you going to watch RoboCop?
Theo, what are you doing, son? Get back up into your room.